Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to some very exciting news. The Tales from the Age of Men, the Lord of the Rings overhaul mod for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord has just released its next public phase test. And this test has come such a long way since the first version, which was released at the end of January. We now have basically 4 complete factions on the campaign map, and so many other factions also have weapons, armors, and troop trees already in the mods, like the dwarves and a handful of the elves. The dwarves even have their very own custom skeleton, which I know took a lot of time, so I always want to mention it. And this is probably the first test where you can start to have a bit more of an actual Bannerlord campaign. You have 4 factions on the campaign map fully fleshed out. You have bandits roaming around. You can definitely have some fun with this build. I definitely recommend using something like Player Switch and playing as Denethor or the Witch King, and just, yeah, again, leading large armies, having big battles. I mean, what more could a man possibly want? So what I'm gonna do in this video is basically run through the changes from the original playtest build. So those of you who maybe haven't been keeping up with all the updates I've been posting on the channel will get a good overview of exactly what you'll be able to see and play with this build. And I'll of course leave a link to it down below in the description, along with a link to their Discord where you can get more information. And if you're having any troubles installing it, I'm sure they can also help there. So of course there are plenty of cultures to pick from. Again, it doesn't really matter who we're going to pick. We're just going to dive in. There are also several races actually in the mod, so I guess it is a little bit important. So you can see you have the normal man one. If we were to go over and pick the dwarven culture, you can see we actually have this very cool stacked dwarven model, which is really cool, plays very well, and you'll see it a bit more in the combat. I believe there's also a custom Urukar. Well, this isn't actually like fully customized, but it is a custom race. There's also a berserker one as well. Looks amazing. And there's even a cave troll. I don't know if this is going to crash the game because this is just here for testing purposes. But yeah, you can start to see the beginning of the cave trolls. Again, this is nowhere near done. This is just here for testing purposes, but still looks cool nonetheless. Okay, so here we are on the campaign map now. So previously, all we had done was Gondor, and I believe there was maybe a couple settlements from Mordor down, maybe a couple from over here into the east. Now, I don't even think that Rohan was done in the previous playtest. So as you guys can see, they've of course cleaned up the beautiful looking Minas Tirith and the rest of the territory surrounding Gondor. Again, it looks great, lots of attention to detail. I love these winding paths, and they've got custom settlement icons in, along with these settlements, which again just look absolutely beautiful. I mean, what's not to love? Looking at Minas Tirith, I love the wheat fields and stuff. So yeah, this stuff was already in the mod, but they've gone ahead and improved it. Then over, Mordor has of course been fully implemented now. I think they are still waiting on a few of the icons. So you can see Barad-dûr and a few of the other settlements do have their custom icons, but a bunch of them don't. And again, they're just placeholders for now and will eventually be replaced. But again, Mordor looks absolutely amazing. One of my favorite things I think in the entirety of the mod, as we just teleport over here, is how amazing Minas Morgul looks at nighttime. It honestly looks incredible. So if we jump ahead to the nighttime, let the yeah, look at the glowing. And it's a real shame that they can't make this. Apparently it's hard coded and you can't make it glow like this all the time. But look how incredible Minas Morgul looks, especially if you're like up here and you're yeah, you're looking off into the distance. I mean, that just looks, yeah, that looks amazing, right? Very cool indeed. Over here, obviously Mount Doom, you even have the little portal through as well. You even have this little detail right there. They should try and put like a mini Frodo and Sam in there or something else along them lines. You've of course got Barad-dûr and the White Eye. And a lot of these Mordor settlements as well look really cool. I love the pits, especially at nighttime. I think Mordor really comes alive. I think this lights up as well. Does this not light up? Maybe this doesn't light up. I thought this did light up, but I guess not. But yeah, again, Mordor looks incredible, goes all the way down. Rohan has also been fully done now as well, so you guys can see the awesome looking settlements. The sprites are very cool indeed, scattered around, very like mountainous hilltop settlements. Helm's Deep as well, so this has also been changed. Previously, I believe Helm's Deep was a bit further back, and they've really extended out this mountain to again kind of, I guess, also make a choke point for Isengard when they're attacking. Because again, Isengard only have like 2 paths past this river, which again is a very interesting campaign for them when they try and expand, and if they come down to Helm's Deep, which again is really cool with a valley, some cavalry coming down to save the day. It would be great. Of course, Isengard isn't exactly a huge settlement. They start off with Orthanc, of course, and again, it looks really good indeed. And that's going to do it for the 4 main factions that have been implemented. Again, it recommends that you stick around here, but plenty of other stuff has also been done. So Unitry wise, we now see Mordor being fully fleshed out outside of like trolls, but you guys can see they're very much working on implementing them and adding them in. We come over here again, you guys can see the vast roster. They've also stuck a bunch of the other units from like yeah, like the goblins and stuff, which are now being implemented as well. So goblins are coming as well. No, actually, sorry, these are just the normal orcs, I believe, not uruks. Yeah, so they're also implementing orcs and uruks, which again would be very, very cool. And I imagine once these guys are fully fleshed out, they'll kind of come back and maybe redo a bit of the unit trees and stuff. But they've also implemented the Haradrim and the Eastlings as well in this roster, just so you can mess around with them. But as you guys can see, the Uruks look absolutely amazing, right? So many different types of weapons. They also have loads of custom shields as well, which I think is really cool. The fact that they have not only just custom armors, but they also have completely customized weapons and swords and stuff and shields, etc. So again, very, very cool Unitry. I'll show you guys off a few more of those, but again, you guys can kind of get the gist of them. And obviously, we always have some more Uruks. The Eastlings look great. This unit actually looks incredible in game, and I'll show you some battles at the end of the video. Again, the Eastlings, sorry, the Haradrim right here, several different variants to them. And then obviously, as we just showed, we also have the Orcs, who are, again, newly implemented, not fully fleshed out, so just keep that in mind. Gondor has also received a bit of a, I guess, not a revamp, but a decent upgrade to their unitry. A lot more of their assets have also been fully done now. So if we go over to one of their villages, again, you guys can see the Gondorian unitry. The Fountain Guard armor has been done, more Citadel Guard stuff. But not only that, they've also gone and implemented a lot of the Thieves of Gondor. That's one of the big things about Gondor, is having all these different units from around the Empire. So you can see Pedagear right here. They have a lot of their units done. The Marines looking very, very cool. You also don't just have normal Gondorian archers and knights, etc. Horse Cambusons have also been done. Again, I think that goes a very, very long way, just kind of immersing you in the game. We also have the Axemen as well from the different regions of Gondor. These are one of my favorite units in Third Age Total War, looking very good. We then have some of the Lamadon Knights as well. These are big two-handed dudes. You can start to see like the Gondorian roster is pretty vast. You have Blackroot Vale archers right here with really cool helmets. Over here, you have some more Pelith Ganir dudes right there. So you can see the Gondor roster is very vast with this. You even have some Knights of the Silver Swan on foot, along with some cavalry, have some other horses like that. So yeah, the Gondorian army should feel and look very, very vast with their main upgrade as well. If we go to one of their castles and look at their noble troop line, of course, it wouldn't be anything else besides these Knights of Dor Amroth, and I don't know, that's like one of the best armor pieces I've ever seen. We also have some Aphelion Rangers as their noble troop line. So yeah, Gondor definitely has the most weapons and armors and units and stuff, but they're a lot of fun. Of course, as we make our way over to Rohan as well, you can see Rohan definitely has a lot as well. So it's not even there that they've recruited so many of them. You can also see the beacons as well set up. So if we take a look at the Rohan roster, you can see again, this is pretty vast. So down the left-hand side, we have a two-handed Axeman unit, very, very good on the battlefield. They also are equipped with an axe and a shield as well, so can protect themselves against missiles. We have the Spearman variant as well, and you guys can see a few of the lower tiers as well, starting off with chainmail. Again, infantry's not going to be anything too crazy. They also do only have access to the lower tier bows, tier 4 bows, compared to a lot of the other factions. But of course, even in their main roster, not even their unit troop tree, they have very, very good cavalry right here. The Outriders and the Erling Lancers as well, who look absolutely insane. I say that, but that actually kind of looks like their noble troop line down on this right hand side, so maybe it is. Either way, yeah, it's a good bonus for them. It means they have access to them elite cavalry that little bit sooner. Now, the Uruks of Isengard have also recently been implemented, and I believe these guys are the most recent faction to be added in. And again, you can see these guys looking very fierce, a lot of decent weapons and armors. I don't think they've been balanced too much. Yeah, these Berserkers have like 400 athletics and stuff, so I imagine that's going to probably be patched out when they decide to balance them. But again, the Uruks look great. I love the model underneath them. They have access to crossbowmen, archers, but obviously, as you guys can see, a lack of cavalry. They'll probably get wargs when wargs get added in, but they don't really have access to a lot of units like that. Now, there are a few other factions outside of these four that do have unit trees. So, of course, Dunland have a unit tree. We have known this for some time, and they've always had this even since, I think, the first release. These are some of the first units to be added in. So, again, you can see Dunland right there. And I imagine Dunland might be one of the next factions that kind of get their map built out, because they already have a unit roster, and they're right next to here. And it adds another enemy for Rohan to actually fight. Again, some awesome parts of Gondor as well right here, looking very, very good. But not only that, we also do actually start to get a few of the elves. So the elves recently got an armor and a weapon across the board. So these are going to be the Rivendell elves. Again, you guys can see a nice little mix You can go and recruit these units if you want to. Of course, they're not going to be massive players in the War of the Ring, but still looking cool. Again, a whole vast amount of different weapons and armors. Speaking of which as well, Frangel also has his own custom armors in as well. These were done fairly recently as well. So again, you can see the differences in the armors, weapons, and shields. These aren't fleshed out yet though, but obviously will be later on down the line. And then we also have Erebor with an awesome looking picture. So the dwarves have I guess a fairly large roster. One thing I think the dwarves are mainly lacking are going to be the weapons. They don't have any really custom weapons made for them quite yet, but you can see they have a lot of heavy infantry, which they're going to be going. I also like as well how Bannerlord doesn't really like, these guys are too short. Don't put that in the book or anything. But yeah, these guys are too short for the picture, which is funny, and that's because they have that custom model. But yeah, again, they have a cool fleshed out roster so far, but again, this was more of just a test to see if it was possible, what they could do with a custom skeleton, etc. So again, a lot of the weapons, but they do have some beautiful armors already in the game, and I imagine the dwarves are going to be fleshed out a little bit later on down. So we can also take a look at a few of the maps, which are currently work in progresses. These aren't done yet, but you can see they're really starting to come together. They have also recently commissioned the doors of the Gate of Gondor as well to actually be 3D modeled, and that will be hopefully implemented in right here. But you can see the very start of Minas Tirith, I mean, again, is very white, but I think it's just because of my brightness settings. They're all stuck all the way up. But yeah, you guys can see it. It looks really awesome. Definitely coming together when they start adding in the custom buildings and stuff. And I actually think this is going to work really well. Yeah, I think this is going to work really well when they actually come to sieges. So I think you can siege this right now, but it's not fully finished, so you can lead an army and attack Minas Tirith if you want to. But yeah, I think it's going to actually work kind of well with the AI, right? Because the AI is going to take this out later, and it's going to start following up. Because realistically, Minas Tirith is just like one long path, so it's not like the AI can glitch out or anything along this long road to the top, which is funny. Work in progress Gondorian Fortress, you can see it slowly coming together. Just something basic, but I think, again, you don't need these long formed castles. If anything, I kind of prefer these more individual castles because they'll probably be a little bit faster to put together. And I think it's actually really important to have these smaller castles to kind of take up the map. The Three Kingdoms mod has like 4 or 5 different castles. And I think just, yeah, replacing each culture to have at least one is really cool. And again, it takes you, like, who wants to fight over the same Bannerlord castles over and over? Finally, the last work in progress map is going to be Orthanc. Again, this is still very, very work in progress a bit more, but again, creating the circular walls was actually a bit of a task, I think, for them. And you can see start of the differences. Of course, these walls won't be white, they'll be black like that, and I think they're starting to, yeah, do that right here to change the walls up. But you know, again, this is still very work in progress, but still cool to look at nonetheless. Okay, so now let's jump into a battle. I've player switched over to this beast of the Isengard forces, and let's go and maybe just find ourselves a nice Rohan army, and you guys can take a look at some of these units up close and personal. But yeah, so far you can see that the mod definitely has some really cool foundations, and now they're going to be really focusing in on more of the coding side of things. That is going to be their plan. Oh yeah, and something I actually didn't even mention as well, they have a lot of these cool custom armors for heroes as well. So for example, this is Theoden right here, looking absolutely amazing. But if we just leave quickly, I can show you guys that actually before we do it. There are actually a bunch of cool custom heroes in here. So again, the leader of Isengard right now until Saruman comes to the forefront. They also have the Witch King as well. A few of these guys haven't been done at the mouth of Sauron. It doesn't look as, yeah, he's not quite done. The Witch King, for example, does have really cool custom armor, and I think he is the same for all the Nazgûl as well, have very cool custom armor. Benefor has some really cool stuff, and I also actually believe that Theodred does as well. So let's go ahead and fight this, and we will dive in. Oh, the Shadow of Betrayal. Oh my god, they've even got cool custom events in here right away, which is very, very cool. The White Council, yeah, nice. It's cool that it's starting to come into the mod, because again, you know, you want to make it feel like you're not just playing Bannerlord, you're not just running around. So we do have a lot of the more lightly armored soldiers in our Uruk-hai army, but I wanted to show them off because they do look pretty fierce. When you start getting the banner mods, again, the custom weapons I think go such a long way, and they look awesome. The pikes as well, the spears, etc. And then you can see Rohan already assaulting us with their horse archers, coming in firing. Hopefully Rohan will get some horse armors soon. I think they have a handful in, but not specifically. And again, over here again, you can see Rohan's army. The banner, oh, that banner looks amazing. Look at that. That looks really, really cool. And the rest of the horses of Rohan set up right there. Your actual shock cavalry Looking cool. Okay, so let's just get stuck in now. Let's see what some of these weapons can do. I imagine, yeah, they are just going to cut the enemy down. Look at that go. So again, balancing isn't perfect in this mod. Again, lots of feedback will be required. And obviously, as they're adding in so much stuff into the mod as well, it does come quite hard. But yeah, I think an elite army of Urukai with huge tower shields is going to be very hard to beat regardless of balancing. They're just going to be doing so much damage. Even the lower tiers are able to get stuck in with just a simple weapon. But yeah, I mean, look how awesome these guys do look. And they look very imposing as well. It's like kind of always a big thing, is making Urukai look scary enough to actually fight. And yeah, actually kind of coming across as being a threat compared to the men. You obviously also have the big two-handed weapon. Swings a lot slower, but already did a lot of damage to that horseman through the shield as well. But yeah, these look amazing, right? Again, I love the helmets. I love that the blood kind of starts turning the white hand red as well. That looks really cool. But that is about to do it for today's little video spotlight. I'll leave a link to this down below in the description. As I said, this has really come such a long way, and I want to give a massive shout out to everybody who's worked on this. Hatred has poured his heart and soul and also his bank account into this mod, and it really does come across. It is obviously a fan project that so many of us have wanted, and Hatred has stepped up to actually make it possible, which is amazing. But not only that, he's also had amazing help from across the modding community. There's so many other modders who work on other mods who have helped out and given advice, shared assets and resources. And I think one of the best things about this mod is that a lot of it is open source, so people can come in and create their own mods from it. And it's just a really cool community project that, you know, hopefully will spawn off lots of other sub mods and other things. And it's just a really good attitude to have, that you're willing to share and give up and, you know, help out other people, and they'll help you out in turn. So it's just really, really cool. So go check this mod out, go show it some love, go show it some support, and I'll see you guys in the next one.